Hello and welcome to Strange Stories. It's great to have you here. We are all about sharing stories of near-death experiences from around the world in the hopes of bringing some light and inspiration to your day. Our daily videos offer a glimpse into what lies beyond this life, and we believe that they can help us all appreciate the gift of life a little bit more. If you enjoy our content, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest videos. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue to grow. And to our returning viewers, welcome back. We're thrilled to have you with us again. So go ahead, grab a cozy blanket, get comfy, and join us for today's incredible near-death experience story.
What makes me happy is knowing that we're all connected. We don't lose our antsiness once we take off our costumes. Whatever race, religion, political, financial, or whatever we've accumulated to find ourselves. In other areas, I do not lose my other selves. That was my senior year of high school in 1955. Our class went on a picnic in a nearby lake 2 days before graduation. And this was in the Detroit suburbs of Michigan. It was also the middle of June. And then we went on a big picnic and swim party. And we were having a blast. And all of my friends were on a floating platform about 50 or 60 yards from the shore. They were motioning for me to join them, so I dove into the water and began swimming away. And I got really bad cramps about halfway to the platform, and all of a sudden, I'm unable to kick, and all of a sudden, I'm going downhill. And when I'm submerged, I'm beginning to choke on the water. I rise to the surface once more. I'm also waving my hands, and I can see my friends' hands waving back at me. They assumed we were playing a game. Assumed we're drowning or something. Then I collapsed for the second time. That was my last time because I never returned to the surface. And now I'm in big trouble. I'm in a state of panic. I'm drinking more water. I'm starting to feel pain all over my body. I'm sinking further and further, and the water is now extremely cold. I'm also shivering. I can't stop shivering, and the pain has spread throughout my body. And I have the impression that every cell in my body is screaming. It requires oxygen. I'm going to die. And I finally admit to myself that I'm dying. And I'm sinking deeper and deeper. I can suddenly feel something at the level of my feet, and it's the weeds at the lake's bottom. And now I'm bogged down in the weeds. I'm sinking deeper and deeper. And then, all of a sudden, I'm filled with hope. Oh, I've reached the bottom of the lake. However, I'm in a sitting position. I'm sitting down, and I think, oh, this is good because now I can push my hands and maybe get out to the top of the lake and get some air. And when I try to push my hands alongside me, they get stuck. Now I'm stuck in mud, terrified and freezing. I'm trembling and my ears are ringing like someone is inserting ice picks into me. It's dreadful. And then, in the midst of all the chaos, I hear a voice in my head say, Andy, you need to relax. And I respond to the voice in my head. Are you kidding? I really need to get out of here. I need to get some fresh air. All I need is one breath of fresh air, and the voice tells me once more, Andy, you need to rest and everything will be fine. So I ask the voice, are you sure? Yes, I'm certain. Please take a break. And I say, do you promise all of this is going on while I'm stuck in the bottom of the lake? And the voice replied, yes, I promise. Then I said, okay, I'll let go. And I popped out of my body when the word go formed in my head. And now I'm in the tunnel. I'm in what I call a moment of no time. I'm in a tunnel with a bright light at one end. So bright that it would burn out my retinas. It's extremely bright. Then I turn and look in the opposite direction. And I can see the lake's bottom. And I see my body at the lake's bottom. And I thought to myself, oh, I guess I'm not in my body anymore. That's alright. Because I didn't give a damn. My entire life became irrelevant the moment I left my body and entered the tunnel leading to the light. My existence on Earth made no difference to me. I didn't mind. It was as if I had walked into a movie and spent the next 17 years inside. And now the film was over. And then I leave. What are my thoughts on the film? It was pleasant. Is it going to have an impact on me? Do I feel bad about leaving the movie? Obviously not. Did it bother me that my body was down there and that I had died on Earth? Obviously not. I'm fine. This is the location to be. I'm filled with unconditional love and feelings that, after 60 years of trying to describe how I felt, are impossible to put into words. There are no words to describe how wonderful I felt, from terror, freezing, a lack of oxygen, and being stuck, shaking like it was the end of the world to time. Oh my God, I felt so wonderful that I can't put it into words. It was incredible. Then I look up at the light and begin to move down the tunnel. But I know I don't have a body because I dumped it in the lake's bottom. But I have some structure. Andy is present. It's what I call Andy-ness. Even though I'm not in my body, I'm still Andy. And now, as I move through the tunnel, I'm being pulled like a giant magnet, which is pretty cool. Anyway, being dragged down the tunnel and suddenly halfway to the light, but measurements don't matter. As I get closer to the light, in the blink of an eye, I transform into a massive sphere, a ball within a ball. I'm circling. There's also a light presence next to me. I'm hovering at the center of this ball, and everywhere I look, there are little movie theater screens of me, of everything I've done all of my lives, all at once. Numerous hundreds, thousands, and millions. I'm not sure. They're simply filled with the inside of this ball, inside of this sphere, and I recognized them. Everything was clear to me. I wasn't perplexed. Whoa, what's up with this? No, it was, and I could relive any event I focused on, and every time I concentrate on one, I relive it. There was one that I'll never forget because it didn't happen yet. It would take another 5, 6, or 7 years. However, I was washing my brother's car, and we'd get into an argument about something and argue back and forth. Not only did I wash the car again, but I knew exactly what my brother was thinking, why he got angry at me, and why we were fighting. So every time I relived an event, I relived it exactly as it happened at the time, except now I not only knew what I was thinking, but I also knew what everyone else was thinking, about their angst, anxiety, and mine. So the wonderful thing about being in what is now known as the life review is that you get to review your life. But as you review it, as I review it, I can tell you exactly what anyone else in that particular experience was thinking at the same time that we were. That went on for what seemed like a couple of days, a week or something. Understand that the entire Earth time that passed during this was most likely between 5 and 10 minutes. I'm not sure. I didn't keep track of it at all. I had I when I got into the light. It didn't matter what happened on Earth was irrelevant to me. And then, after spending some time in the sphere and experiencing all of these different things that had happened in the past and would happen in the future as I experienced them, I popped out of the sphere and I'm back in the tunnel. And now I'm back in the tunnel and I'm still being drawn towards the light by the magnetic force, and I'm getting closer and closer to it. And now I'm standing in front of the light, whatever that is, and I can see the light, which is extremely bright and in the shape of a target. When I was in the Marine Corps, one of the targets we had was a black silhouette with a face in the shoulder. That's pretty much how it appeared. It wasn't a fully completed form. It was something I thought might be a head and then some shoulders. Everything else, however, was white. And now I'm up close to it, about the same distance as I am from my computer screen right now. I'm almost there, and that light tells me not to be afraid. Andy. And I was impressed because the light recognized my name and addressed me as Andy, my Earth name. Don't be afraid, Andy. And I wasn't one of them. I was calm. The light then said to me, Andy, I love you. And then, when the light said, Andy, I love you, I felt a rush of emotions that I can't put into words. So I'm not even going to try to describe it. The light then said, Andy, we love you. When the light said, Andy, we love you, the entire background of the light and the light silhouette vanished. And there were thousands, millions, billions, trillions of other lights in the background. And I knew there were lights too. Welcome home, Andy, the light said in unison. And that is most likely the greatest thing I've ever heard as a human and as a piece of light. And I told them I was finally home. I've returned home. I was overjoyed to be home. Oh my God, I've arrived home. The light then absorbed me. I merged with the light. So Andy, what does that mean? You're absorbed by the light. This is the best way I can put it. Let us suppose that the light and all the billions of other lights, the light that is everything, that is created from unconditional love, that is everything that is, was, or will be. Assume the light is a tall glass of water. Let's pretend Andy Petro from Earth, is a spoonful of sugar. Now, if I take that sugar and put it in a glass of water, spin it around and look at it, I'll see that it's sugar water. So I take that same spoon and scoop up a spoonful of sugar water, wondering where Andy is. He's all over the place. What happened to the light? It's all over the place. Oh, I've turned into the light. I'm not bigger than the sun. I'm not inferior to the light. I'm a speck of light. And everything else that exists, or has ever existed, is made up of bits of light, and all of these pieces combine to form one light, which creates everything. So now I'm having all kinds of really wonderful light experiences. There will be no travel. There isn't any time. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow all occur. I'm gonna have to use this word again at the same moment of time. And I'm traveling the universe. I go to different universes, to planets. The light and I are having a great time. And then I realized that the light is a sense of humor. It's a happy place. It's similar to McDonald's. It's a cheerful place. It's not a stoic environment. It's not all of these ideas I had about the afterlife. There aren't any harpists running around. It encompasses everything, and everything is clear in the light. There's no such thing as an unknown. But when you know something, create something, or think of something, it feels as if you're doing it for the first time. That is the allure of living in the light. Everything you do is about the thrill, the excitement, and the sensation of experiencing something for the first time. I recall many times on Earth when I was doing something that was extremely difficult for me. I used to do a lot of programming, computer programming, and other similar things, and I'd work on a problem for days and days and days, and I couldn't solve it. And it was getting to me, which was annoying. And then one night, in the middle of the night, I wake up and think, aha, I got it. And then I go back to sleep after writing down the code. I get up the next morning, go to work, plug it in, and it works. That aha moment of spending a long time not knowing and then knowing. I've had hundreds and thousands of aha moments in my life where I didn't know, and now I do. Oh, what a wonderful sensation. That sensation was a constant for me in the light. Everything that happened to me was an aha moment. It was incredible, and I never got tired of being aha'd, you understand? That feeling of knowing never left me. So when the light and I were watching some of my experiences in the sphere, we'll go back to that in a second, the light would say to me, not talking because we don't have mouths, but telepathically, Andy, look at how upset and angry you got at that person. Don't you realize it's irrelevant? It makes no difference. You spend a lot of time being angry. That's a complete waste of time. When you come to Earth, you come to have fun, not to be angry over trivial matters. So why don't you lighten up a little? That was a clever word play, in my opinion. Why don't you lighten up and enjoy your time here? So we keep doing things, traveling through various universes. I could go on for another 5, 10, or 20 hours about everything I saw and felt, but the important thing is that the light and I were one. I'm living in the light of no time and you don't go anywhere. It's like right now, I'm sitting here in front of my Mac, doing this little talk, and when I'm finished, I think, boy, I really had a great time when I was in Maui 2 years ago, and I'd be there as soon as I thought the word Maui 2 years ago. It wasn't, and I wasn't required to go there. I wasn't required to take a limo to the airport. I wasn't required to board the plane. Now I'm in Roseville, California, and then I'll be in Kahului, Maui. That's how it appeared in the light. I imagined myself going wherever I wanted to go. So I was having a great time when the light said to me, Andy, you have to go back. And I asked, what is this? A joke? I'm not returning. I've returned home. So you'll have to go back the second time, Andy. No, I don't want to go back, I said. I'll be staying here. I've had enough, and the light says, Andy, you have to go back for the third time. And now, for the saddest point in my existence here, when I heard the K in the back, I was stuffed back into my body. It was no longer at the lake's bottom. I have no recollection of what happened, how my body got from the bottom of the lake to the sand on the beach, laying on my stomach with my head turned, and one of my classmates pushing the water out of my lungs while I'm spitting and coughing. And at that moment, I'm Andy back on Earth. And I'm so sad. I'm devastated. I don't want to be here. And I'm coughing a lot, and there was never a moment of silence in my existence, in my speaking. There are no blank spots from when I drowned and let go into the light to when I'm back in my body. And I've had operations where I count from 99 back, and by the time I get to 97, I'm gone. And then there's a big blank until I'm in the recovery room, and I have no memory of that. There was no void in any of my experiences. It was a continuous stream of conscious thought, and now I'm getting up. The water's gone. It's a miracle. There's a sesame. Andy, tell us what happened. We thought you were dead. So I told my first great lie, which I repeated for the next 25 to 30 years. I'm not sure. I don't remember anything. I'm a total blank. That was a complete lie, but my head told me there was no way. I have no idea what happened. It was 1955. They didn't even coin the phrase near-death experience for another 20 years until I read Moody's book and realized, oh my God, I'm not crazy. All those years, I felt like a stranger in a strange land. I had no idea what the hell was going on. I couldn't figure it out. It didn't make sense to me. I was raised with a lot of religious training and processing. Prior to my NDE, I had no experience in the light of anything I'd been taught or learned on Earth. That's all I'm saying. We're telling my story, not trying to sell or persuade you of anything. I'm just recounting what I recall. So now I'm up and walking around and I'm really sad. Why? Because I have no idea what this is. I'm not sure. Okay, I'll just forget about it, I said. Everything is forgotten by everyone. Right now, my 60th wedding anniversary is coming up in a couple of weeks. It's difficult for me to recall my wedding day 60 years ago. I mean, I can't remember what I said, how I looked, or how many people were there. I don't recall anything specific. But that's not what I'm talking about right now. That 10 minutes of Earth time when I went into the light and did 100 years of stuff before returning, that never changes. I remember it like it was yesterday. So now that I'm back, I'm trying to figure out what to do. I never tell my parents. I don't. And I don't tell my spiritual leader. I never tell anyone. No, I have to figure this out myself. So I spent the next 20 to 25 years researching every religion, meditation, and transcendental meditation. I tried everything I can think of to see if someone, somewhere, at some point would click and I'd realize it wasn't a dream. That actually happened, and here's what happened. Then, in the late 1970s, I picked up Dr. Moody's book, Life After Life, and began reading it in the evening. I read it from cover to cover, and when I finished it around 3 o'clock in the morning, there were tears in my eyes, tears of joy. Finally, I realized I wasn't insane. I can't express how relieved I was to know that what I was experiencing was genuine, because many people have had very similar experiences. That was one happy day for this guy, I tell you. It was fantastic. Even with all that wonder, it took me 10 or 15 years before I could even talk about it to anyone, because after suffocating something for so long, you just can't say, oh, it's okay now. It simply takes time. So it took time for me to get out, and then I had my first conversation, and then I found the Irons group and became involved with them, and now I'm just waiting because I'll be 85 this year, and I'm just waiting to go back. I mean, I've got a smile on my face as if I'm hoping to win a lottery and return to the light where I can do whatever it is you do when you're in the light. So that's a part of what I'm saying. The most significant thing that happened was being in the light for 10 minutes of Earth time and probably countless hours or years of light time.